Harp, you wrote an article about a month ago about the Mets getting hit by pitches. They have been in the top 4 in hit by pitches since 2019. What needs to change in order for that to stop happening?
Well, this is an old school mentality. I know that. And I really want to hear Terry's take on this, because I wrote that I think at some point you have to retaliate. I think it can become an issue even in the clubhouse. If the hitters start thinking, why aren't we, these guys, don't they have our backs? Especially when Alonso, your star player, is getting hit just about as much or more than anybody in baseball, and pitchers feel like they can come inside without any response from the Mets. They're going to keep doing it and keep hitting them. And I think at some point the Mets have to respond. I did ask Buck about that after a game when I wrote that column. Basically, he's not going to say much publicly about it. So I don't know exactly. He said we've talked about it internally, but I do think, and again, I want to hear Terry's take on this, because I think your star players getting hit at some point, somebody's got to respond, or actually I think that could be a little of an issue in the clubhouse. Terry,
what are your thoughts? Yeah. How would you have handled this?
Well, John has hit it right on the head. The issue is going to be inside that clubhouse. Now, the other night when he got hit, obviously it was a breaking ball. You don't throw breaking balls and be able to command your breaking ball good enough to hit a guy in the back of the head. I mean, that was a fluke. But yeah, he has been hit a lot. I talked to Pete about it, and I said, hey, look, you're a guy who you got to be pitched inside. Today, due to the new rules, pitchers have a little trouble sometimes commanding the pitches. Everybody's throwing as hard as they can. It's not about command anymore. But I'll tell you one thing. Yes, you have to answer it. I'm sorry. And I don't think, and I know Buck, and he is going to be politically correct on how he goes, what he says and how he goes about things. But once in a while, the pitchers themselves have got to take it into their hands. I remember when I managed the Angels, we had a real good player named Garrett Anderson, and Garrett kept getting knocked down by one particular team. And Chuck Finley went to Garrett Anderson and said, I will put an end to this Friday night, and did. And he took their best player and drilled him right in the middle of the back, and then went to the dugout. Said, if he goes down again, I'm getting somebody else. And it was over. It was done. Never did they knock him down again.